Hey everyone, a nerd named Mark here, and this is gonna be a tough review for me to do because I don't want to spoil a lot of the film, but at the same time, I don't know where I just watched Halloween Kills a second time. I had to watch it a second time because I watched it really late because when it got added on Peacock, it was like what 9 p.m. Watched it, but I had a long day of work, and then I was like, all right, I'm gonna digest it, and I was just sitting there, literally just laying in bed, about to go to sleep. 'Cause I had work at 6 in the morning, and I was just sitting there, and I was like, I don't know how I feel about this movie. Like, I don't know. It was a thing. It happened, and then I just started thinking of like the history of Halloween, and from the standpoint of horror films and franchises, now Halloween has never been like my favorite, but there are some glint like campiness. Like I think H2O and Resurrection, while they weren't great, are entertaining to watch. And then you have the two Rob Zombie films, which happened, which were the first one not bad, the second one, the whole white horse thing, I'm still stuck on. Like it tried too hard, and it was just a mess. But when we got Halloween in 2018, I was like, it's just being called Halloween. I was like, okay. And I was like, the irony of it being, I believe, what, the 40th anniversary of it? So it was like, that's cool. Like calling it Halloween, almost 40 years to the day. I think it came out like a week before the original did. So I was like, all right, it's cool. And it was a good film for what it was. Uh, Halloween Kills, though, just was very disorganized. I think right off the bat, the main issue I have right now with this new Halloween trilogy, so to speak, even though it's not a new trilogy, it's the only trilogy because everything after Halloween 1 doesn't exist. It got retconned. And I kind of wish they Halloween 2 is still in consideration because Laurie not being Michael's sister, them not being siblings, like really just takes away like a lot of the sense of it. Like I get it. If you go on the original Halloween from 1978, it was just coincidental that Laurie and Michael had the situation they did. But then you take out Halloween 2, where she's in the hospital, and that's when Loomis and the U.S. Marshal, and Loomis lets it, slip that Laurie is his sister, and that they put her up for adoption afterwards, and that, you know, they 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 sealed all the records of it so to protect her. With that whole Halloween 2 being taken out, Halloween Kills, I'm just like, okay, like, so in the 2018 Halloween, she has all his preparations because she thinks he's still out there. Okay, um, sure. Waiting for his return, that one day he's going to come back. It's a stretch, but the movie was still good. Halloween Kills, on the other hand, it was just like, Laurie Strode, Jamie Lee Curtis, synonymous with the Halloween films outside of Season of the Witch. And you don't have her the the feature of the show. She's in the hospital the whole time, and I kind of appreciate the nod to Halloween 2, even though it doesn't happen, of her being in the hospital and like that to me. But like we finally got all these other characters, and I was like, okay, this could be good. When they were marketing it, it's not like all the time you saw like, oh, this is the most amount of kills Michael gets in a movie. It creative kills, this and that. And then when you watch the film, you realize all those kills were kind of like a misdirection, like a magician, because the kills are you're anticipating them, they happen, and it kind of distracts you from the fact that what the hell is going on in this movie. Like legitimately, every time there's kills this and that, like they always happen around time where I'm like sitting there in my head, like with the red strings connecting on a whiteboard, being like, okay, so this is a story. That's that character from the original. That's the nurse. That's the two kids that survived because they would tell you who they were from the original film with like little clips of flashbacks and stuff. And it's like, okay. And I dig the flashbacks to like, the cops and like all the other, like that was cool. That was a lot of fan service. I love fan service. But I just and a lot of the kills were good, and it was nice to have this nod to the original film. But it the I don't know how, like, when I was looking in on after the fact before I recorded this, I didn't realize, like, I guess Halloween Kills and Halloween Ends, they filmed like kind of simultaneous, and they were gonna film Halloween Kills the same time as Halloween, but they chose not to because they wanted to see how it was going to be received and the money, obviously, and this and that. And it did phenomenal. But man, I don't understand. I understand the film. Okay, I'm not saying I don't understand, like, the plot holes and this and that, but like it's just I without, like, I can't. I'm still hung up on the whole brother and sister element that was ingrained, and it's not. It's because when you retcon something, I still have all those previous films in my brain. Like, it's not like I could be like, okay, they don't exist. You know, we're retconning. This is just first Halloween only, and now in this Halloween. Everything else in between didn't happen. And I still can't get over that. Because it's like I spent so much time watching all these other films where that was the plot point, and it made sense, even though Carpenter even said they only implemented that because they didn't know going forward from a standpoint of how they would continue the franchise. So it was kind of just thrown in there so they could make more movies. And I get that. But if you're not, like, that's why Halloween Kills, I kind of understand why it was more focused on the town itself and the fear and mob mentality. And also, like, they were trying to preach a message, and preach might be the wrong word, but that's the word I'm going with. But it was just like, I wanted some more. Like, there was some good kills in that, like, really, really good. Um, it's I'm I don't know how to word it, you guys. Honestly, like, I don't hate the movie. I'm not gonna, like, internet right now is very decisive. I don't hate the movie. I just think, from a mob standpoint, it was just, mm. And then the nickname now, the Shape. Like, I don't know. But we Judy Greer did a really good job. And Andy did a good job. Like, everyone did, like, Anthony Michael Hall coming in as Tommy Doyle. That was pretty cool. Like, cause that was, obviously one of the kids from the 1978 one. That was, not the same actor, obviously, and it's kind of weird because, like, I don't know. I kind of enjoyed Paul Rudd in The Curse of Michael Miles playing Tommy Doyle, even though a lot of people don't. But it's interesting because, it's just, I don't. The main redeeming qualities of this was literally Michael McDonald and Scott MacArthur as Big John and Little John. They were so good. I enjoyed those characters so much, and it was very, like, they anytime they were on camera and this and that, I was like, these are some of the best scenes in this whole entire film. But then everything else happened, and it's just really muddled. And I'm trying not to spoil anything because I do want people to watch it. I do want, like, anytime a horror film comes out and it does good in theaters, and it, you know even if it's the indecisive, like, split between what people think of it, I want people to see these films so they can continue to get made. Because let's face it, horror films for a while were lacking, and now we're getting better quality, better budgets. It's just, I didn't think we needed the social commentary type of undertones, like mob mentality, giving into fear. Like, I get it. It worked to an extent, but it didn't make the movie better. If anything, it held the movie back. And if you're gonna put a message in a film, it can't bring down the film, and it doesn't have to necessarily elevate it. It just has to make sense and be cohesive. And that's the thing. This was not cohesive. Like I said, all the kills distracted you from how incohesive and jumbled this film was. Now, the kills were cool. They looked amazing. Like, the cinematography in this, the filming style, the scenes when it was like dark, lighting, everything else done beautifully. Like, there's nothing wrong with the filming style of this. Some of these kills were so bloody. and gruesome, and it's for the fact that, Halloween is always Michael with his, butcher knife and just stabbing people and that's it. This was very cool. There were some creative kills. I appreciated that. And it's just, I think because I went back and I watched Halloween, the 2018 one, right before watching this one, I think the quality is very noticeable. If you watch them back to back, there's a clear cut quality of screenplay between the two, and it almost seems like Halloween Kills was rushed. But that's just me. That's how I feel. I could be wrong, or I could be right. But that it just something about like it just you could tell there's a lot of time and care put into the 2018 Halloween, whereas Halloween Kills right now it seems like there was probably some rewrites. I don't know. I don't dive into that stuff a lot, but you could tell there's probably some rewrites and some and probably some changes while filming. It's just yeah, I don't. I the only thing I would really appreciate from this film is like the fan service, like going back to these characters from 1978 film, bringing like where are they now type of situations. It just doesn't make any sense that if everyone else moved on, why did Lori become the crazy lady who you know didn't who just prepared for Michael to come back? And I don't know what they're gonna do with Halloween Ends. I have my theories. I'm gonna keep them to myself. And it's just one of those things where I'm just like, man, I don't know. I'm still on the fence, honestly. And I've watched it twice, and I'm still on the fence. I don't have a defined answer for how I like how if it's where on the scale I am with this. It's it happened. I'll probably watch it one more time, but yeah. Try not to do spoiler, obviously. Uh, yeah, I don't know, man. And it just sucks because we have other franchises that have been returning, whether it's in TV series or it's not, like Chucky. Chucky is about to have its second episode air. The first episode aired already. I did a video and audio review for that, and I was just like, wow, this is good. I like this, and that even though there wasn't that big of a gap between Chucky and the show, but from the standpoint of like balance and writing, and yes, shows and movies are different, but it's like I I don't know. It kind of makes me wary of some of my franchises I do like. Like I said, Halloween is not one of my favorite franchises. I think Nightmare on Elm Street is probably my favorite. Scream is another one. We got a new Scream coming out in January, and I'm curious to see how that's gonna go. I liked Friday the 13th. I think Friday the 13th I probably like more than Halloween as a franchise. And then there's like Pumpkinhead, stuff like that. I mean, but that's way off topic. But yeah, that's really it for my spoiler free and my thoughts and everything else going on with Halloween Kills. Let me know what you guys think. Did you guys like it? Did you hate it? Because like the internet right now, like my Twitter feed, if I type in Halloween Kills, it's just dumb, hate it, worst movie I've ever seen, this, that. And I'm like, okay. And then on the other hand, sort of be like, I liked it. I don't know why everyone hates it. And it's like, well, it's an opinion. That's why. So I'm curious what everyone else thinks. Let me know. That's been my spoiler-free review of Halloween Kills, along with like my thoughts and mentioning some other stuff from the franchise as a whole. But I appreciate you guys listening or watching. If you're watching this on YouTube, or if you're listening to this on the Nerd Name Mark Reviews podcast RSS feed, and make sure you subscribe to the audio, the video, the channel, and you'll see when more stuff goes live. It's October. We're literally 2/3 through the month. Got a lot more Halloween stuff coming on the audio side of things. And yeah, so I will see you guys in the next episode, video, audio stuff. And yeah, thank you guys for watching and listening.